definition of the matrix. Okay, okay. So like, have ever studied hoops before, like constructor or some class, anything like that before?
Yes, yes. So I know a little bit of class,
Okay, okay.
but
So
not
like, let us quickly revise that.
sure, sure.
So basically, what happens is, we have to make our code modular. We like to be readable and to easily use the function, right? We define our code in terms what is known as sometimes known as classes.
Okay.
So basically, here they want to implement a matrix class. So let's try to name it matrix as well. So they want us to write a matrix class. Okay, and then this is how a class is being implemented. Put a semicolon, and this is how a basic structure works. Now there are many things inside a class. There is something known as a constructor. What does that mean?
Okay.
The constructor is a, you can say, a sort of member. It's a function, but it's invoked. It is invoked whenever the class object is defined. Invoked whenever
Okay.
class object is defined. You know object, right?
Yes.
Okay. Whenever like a class will define and a class is becomes a data type. So we define a variable for that class that is known as object only.
Okay.
So
Okay.
class is whenever a object is defined.
Defined.
Yeah, object is defined, right? Or you can say object is an instance of class is defined. Or a formal definition, if you read in your textbooks, right? Object is
Mm-hmm.
known as the instance of a class. Instance of a class. Pretty fair enough. Now means whatever, like suppose I call like, do you want to me directly jump on to the specific thing, or I just give you basics also, right? It will be fine, right?
Yeah, yeah, that should be fine.
Okay. See. So basically constructor, what is, suppose I write a print hello world here. Print or whatever, like see out hello. So basically whenever you call an object, this hello will be printed first. First of all, this hello will be, let's suppose a hello is defined. So basically, will always be. You don't need to call a function for that. This will be printed automatically whenever you define an object like this. Matrix, uh, like let's say M. You define the object, the constructor will be called automatically. Okay.
No,
So
okay, okay.
this is how this is defined, and okay, pretty fair enough. And then this is a square matrix. Okay, and this is how, okay. And now basically there's something known as a destructor.
Okay.
Like whenever an object, it is not mandatory. Constructor and destructor are not mandatory whenever you are defining class. Means it is like optional. Okay. So destructor is whenever your objects, like when your program got ended and you want
Mm-hmm.
to display, okay, the program is ended, now you want to delete this object. So you want, if you want some message to display here, okay, key the object got deleted, so you will write destruct whenever the object get deleted.
Mm-hmm.
Objects,
Okay.
there are two methods to objects could be deleted. Object is deleted, either you delete it manually using a delete keyword, or basically the program ends. Program ends also means, right, the object is deleted. There are two methods. Yeah, either the program manually you delete an element, manually deleting, when the destructor will be invoked, I'm saying about, or the program would ended. Means like whenever your complete program ended, like at return zero at the last of the statement, this will be whatever it is written in this piece of code, like a piece of brackets, it would be implemented. Okay.
Okay,
And
okay.
and then what else they want us? They want to, there's something known as a member function. Means member function are nothing but the functions only. They are known as member functions. Member functions. So member functions are basically like functions of a class. Function
Okay, okay.
class. Okay. Basically, whatever we define in a normal function, they are just inside defined inside a class. Okay. And then what else they want? So okay, read matrix. Okay, that's fine. So okay. So I think, yeah, they want this thing. Yeah. So basically, so first of all, what they want, accept and just zoom it out. They want accept n as a parameter and construct a matrix of requested size. Initialize all entries to 0 and the default value of n is 2. Okay. Means they are saying, uh, like you will get something in constructor. Obviously the constructor, the name of the constructor is the name of the class only. It's not written as constructor, by the way. But like it is a constructor, but the name of the constructor is the name of the class itself. So it should be written matrix here. And similarly for destructor also, just a tilde sign is there inside of that. Yeah, like matrix you will be right. Whatever the class name, it is the same as this, and this right a tilde sign. This is a destructor. So yeah, this is in destructor. Okay, else see. Okay, so they want accept n as a parameter, construct a matrix of the requested size. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So you know how to create a dynamic array, right? 2D dynamic array. Like
Yes.
this is a, like suppose I want to declare a 2D dynamic int star star arr
Yep.
and new int star whatever, let's say number of rows are m.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how we define, and now we have to iterate all over the m rows, and also we have to write like this, right? Suppose we
Yes.
want n columns, so we just iterate over all the columns. I less than m, sorry, I less than m, and I plus plus. And we write like arr of I. We just define this arr as also the space. New int. Let's say columns are n. So this is our
Okay.
2m cross n 2D dynamic array. 2D dynamic array. Okay, that's pretty fair enough. Now let's try to think what else they want. Okay. And okay, so basically, yeah, what we already noted that they will give us. So we have to be careful about the indexing part, because they will give us in one base indexing. We have to convert this in zero base indexing. Okay, this is we have to keep in mind. And let's try to start with the constructor itself. So basically, we want to write a constructor. Okay, so basically, what we will be having. I just divide a new page, a class only, our class matrix. First of all, let's try to define the constructor itself. We have to firstly define there's something known as a public keyword. Public, do you know about the public, private, and protected?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great, great. So basically, we have to define it to public to use outside the class as well, right? So basically,
Yep.
let's try to write matrix and okay, and then we define the constructor. Okay, we just take an input n as well in this. Yeah. Matrix. So I think M cross and matrix they require, right? They require how, okay, and okay, one for example, okay, you can create a two helper function, allocate matrix memory, allocate memory to dynamically manage the dynamic. We have the discuss the detail of those operations. Okay, just a second. Uh, it's N cross N. Okay, okay, that's fine. I thought like what is the second element? Okay, great. So basically it's a N cross N matrix only. Int N. Now
Mm-hmm.
we just whatever the function to declare create a 2D dynamic array. We can use define a function like before also, right? Before the matrix. Like
Yeah.
suppose we have already created a function create 2D. I think in the first part you have already done that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Matrix, and we just spice n comma n because m and r equal here. So we will get something, some pointer. So basically we just store that in some arr. We already
No.
define a matrix before, so that we can just allocate this like in outside the constructor I am defining inside arr. This is my matrix arr.
No. Okay. Okay.
arr, and now whatever I will get from the create method, I just store in my arr. Okay, this is how I will just initialize and create my 2D matrix. And now what else? What they want? They want to get returns the dimension. Okay. So I should directly write in the VS Code, or you want like in the code itself? Like what do you prefer?
Uh, uh,
Hmm?
like most of like this is fine. Like
It's
notes is
fine.
fine.
Okay, okay. I
Yeah.
will code it also later also. Like I was just giving
Yeah.
a brief idea, it would be easier
Mhm.
to understand. Okay. So this is done. And then what they want? They want to implement the get dimension function for the matrix. So we just also define. Okay, let me just. Okay, so basically what we have to define also the size also. So let's say in public domain, I define something known as the row of the matrix. And let's say I don't
Okay.
know. And we have to initially define with 2. Why? Because they already specified it. Unless if they don't give us, use n equals to 2. So basically I
Okay.
row equals to 2. And here basically we just updated row is equals to 2 as well. Row is equals to n, because if they give us n, we will use that. If they don't give us n, I think you know this thing. If you want to set a default value in a function, you can use like something like this: int n equals to 2. Like in a function, func, if you want to pass a parameter, and if they don't give you, so basically you can use this by default. By default, it will take this value if they don't give n, and if they give n, this will be discarded. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is a default thing basically. So this is done. Okay, and get dimension. So basically what we have to do in the inside this public, we have already defined. Constructor we have defined. Now we have to write a function known as, and now what it is returning? It is returning the get dimension, int integer. So basically we will write int get dimension here. Get dimension, whatever the function name is, and we just need to return the dimension of the object. So that's why I have create a variable here, row, because I just need to know, right, which what is the
Yeah.
value of n, mine n. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
just need to return the dimension, the return row, because row and column are same. So yeah, so you can return row. This is how,
Okay.
and all are inside a public only. So that's why I can access all these function after the class also.
No. Okay. Yeah.
And the other thing, now this is important. Basically, key this is get element. Now get element valid range also. This is a good now I will tell you next page. Okay. Now we have to write in get element. They will give you and indexes, but they will be in one base indexing. You have to convert into zero base first of all, and then
No.
you
Okay.
have to you have to check also, is it valid or not. Means like suppose our matrix is this, and they want the element outside the matrix. Some ij are not inside, bounded inside the matrix, so we have to check that thing as well. So, and if it is not valid, we should return -1, something like that. They haven't mentioned it, but you should actually say it. Okay, it is -1. Okay. So
No. Okay.
we
Okay.
use
Understood.
also to ensure that insights are within the range. Okay, that's fine. So let's try to understand how it works. So basically, we already know the dimension of the matrix. Have we already taken an input? Okay, input we will write later or what? Like, I am assuming we are already wrote the input function. Uh, the input it's not defined. Okay, I think we will take it, right. Input I'm already
Yeah.
assuming we are taking the 2D input. Okay, so we have the matrix now. So int get element, so we know already the dimension of the matrix, so it is n. I'm assuming n as the row and column. Now what we have to do, you have to do a I minus minus first of all, and j
No.
minus
Okay.
minus. So to get the zero base indexing, now you have to check one thing. If they are in the, if they are valid, so this condition you need to understand, this will be used entire all over the matrices. Like you can remember this as well. Like this is very important, how to check valid indices or not. So first of all, you need to check I should be greater than equals to 0, right? It should be greater than equals to 0, and then I should be less than equals to n minus 1. Okay,
No. Okay. Okay. Yep.
and J also, same goes for J as well. Here the rows or columns are same, so I am writing NN only. If they are different, you should write J greater than 0 and J less than equals to M minus 1. but here n r m are same, so yeah, it should be n minus 1. This is a valid indexes, like, and if it is this, you can return your whatever ARRIJ. And if it
Okay.
is not, you will return a minus 1. And you can write comment here, return minus 1, and you can write a comment, element, not valid index. Like they also mention in your assignment, they write comments, proper comments. So yeah, not valid index. So you can write like, oh, you can explain, okay, this is not a valid index. Please give a valid index. Okay, fair enough. So we write the get element function. Okay. Now they want to replace an element at I, int I, j, and with a new integer. Like they have given an integer. Now you want to replace at that index. Okay. So I
Okay.
think this is similar to this only. You have to do a similar stuff. Like int replace, I'm just writing shorthand notation. Int replace. And they're given the indexes at which we need to replace int I, int j, and a new element they're given. New
Mm,
element. Now we have to again reduce the I, right? I, we have to
yeah.
again reduce I minus minus and j minus minus. Actually, I should check again is valid. So we can actually we can make a function also. If the indices are valid or not. So suppose I am writing again if is valid, like it will return me one if the indices are valid, because I need many times, right? This thing is valid thing, because
Yeah.
I don't need to write this again and again. That's what the use case of functions and oops, right? So that's why we should define a function if it is coming again and again. So yeah. So let's say if valid, if it is valid, we will just what we will do. We will just ARR of ij. We just replace that element with new
Okay.
element, whatever we are given. And if it is not, just return again minus 1, same stuff. See, it's not a valid index, so I can't replace. Similarly, like this same copy, you can say, yeah, copy. You can say. Yeah. Now, what else they want? They want us to swap the elements at I, J, and okay, fine, fair enough. So basically, what they want, and they want us to swap the elements. Okay, let's try to understand the swapping concept, how the swap works.
Yeah.
So let's try to understand in integer cases. Let's suppose they are int a is equals to 2 and int b is equals to 3, and you want to swap those elements. Swap means like a should contain b values and b should contain a values, right? But if you write this code, like this won't work, right? I guess you understand. Like if I write a equals to b, so a will what contain? A will contain 3, b also contains 3 at this moment. And if I just
Yeah.
write
Okay.
b equals to a, both will contain 3 3 only, right?
Yes.
So this won't work really. So we have to do something else. So what do we have to do? We have to initialize one more temporary variable. So let's say temp, and we just store the value of a. So we do not lost a, because actually in this process what we are doing, we lost a. We don't know what was a. We just assign its b value, but what was a previous? We want to assign the previous value here, right? So that's why I
Yes.
stored the temp in this. Now I can use a equals to b, and now b will use the temp. So this is how basically we just remember, because the temp contains the previous value of a, right? The temp did not changes. So that's how
Yeah.
we just swap elements. We just use the same concept here as well. So what we will do, we just need to, let's say if they are return swap, so I think that we don't need to return anything in that thing. Yeah, it should be void. So yeah, let's say it's void swap, and it let's say int i1 int j1. Remember always to reduce the indexes because it's very important. I2 int j2. So we need to again. I1 minus minus, J1 minus minus, I2 minus minus, and J2 minus minus. Okay, this is
Okay.
like in next time. Obviously, everything I just written into ease of understanding. And then what we need to do, we need to swap those elements. What we will do, we'll just store the first variable as the same temp is equals to ARR of I1 and J1. Now what will we do? ARR of I1 J1 is equals to ARR of I2 J2, right? ARR
Yes.
of I2 J2, and just again ARR of I2 J2, I2 J2 is equals to 10. So this is how we swap the elements. In an actual array it was swapped, it was fine. So yeah. So basically we have done this as well. Swap also, get dimension as well, constructor as well. Now they want us to resize the matrix. So what they want, resize the matrix from its original size to the new size. We can enlarge the original matrix. Means obviously, like the new size whatever they will give, that will be larger only. Like it won't be smaller. Okay, they want to say that uh, we copy the original matrix to the new one and set to all zero additional elements in the new one. We can also shrink
Okay.
the original matrix. Okay. Sorry. They are saying that, okay, we can shrink also. My bad. So we copy the elements out of the original within the new size. Okay. We to the new one means they are saying like suppose my matrix was this one and my new matrix was this one, you just need to copy like this. The indexing won't change. There's something like this. And we
Mm-hmm.
suppose if the matrix was smaller, so like if it was smaller, you just need to do this thing. Like yeah, the this one. This is our original, and this one becomes new. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, this was new, and this is original. This one is original. So this is how they want to specify. It can happen both ways. And okay, and use also to ensure that new size is valid, not a negative number. Okay, means okay, again basically you need to check the whatever the size they give. Obviously they should not be negative, right? Negative, or it should not be zero as well. Like
Yeah.
suppose yeah, so we need to check condition, if condition as well there as well. Okay, let's try to do that. So first of all, okay, let's try to think what is this. So yeah, so we want to resize it. So I think it's a void return type only. Nothing we need to return there. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, this is void we need to do, and we need to resize. This is I think the good question, good part. Let's try to think int size. Okay, this is fine. Now basically what we need to do. Okay. Let's suppose okay, now first of all we need to create a array. So first of all let's try to uh, ARR2 or matrix only, right? We just write int start star matrix. We just define our matrix is equals to, we just create again, right? Create to
Yeah.
the whatever our function was and just pass the parameter size. So we got the size, right? And again, it will be initialized. Now we have to allocate the 0 to element. Okay, it's not required. If it's size here, the values we will define later. Okay. So now we will do, we will just run a for loop. We just run a for loop. Int I is equals to 0, I less than n, and I less than size. Whatever we do in the case of normal 2D arrays, right? Just we need to iterate 2 times. For int j is equals to 0, j less than size, j plus plus. Now try to understand. Now we
Okay.
need to just check like if the ij is valid for our array, right? The valid function was written for our array, right? So if is valid for our previous array, whatever was the size. Suppose, see, if there are two cases, like the new size is greater, new size is greater than previous size, or new size is smaller than previous size, right? Equivalent won't matter, less than previous size. Do you understand? Like this case is trivial. Like it does not matter. Like this, in this case, we don't need to do anything because the loop will run from that side only, right? And it will copy those elements only. So it does not
Okay.
bother to us. So like suppose I just it is saying to going to a smaller matrix of our original array. That's all, like a part of this, right? Iterating this part.
Okay. Okay.
So they're just copying this. So that means we don't need to do anything. It is just run those two loops and just assign the values. That's all. But suppose if the
Okay.
new
Okay.
size is greater, we have to think something about in this case. So that's why I wrote in general form. In both the cases, it covers. Okay. So if it is valid, I comma j, and also you need to pass the size also, right? What was the previous size? Then only it can judge. So let's say it was n only, right? It was n. Now if it comes out to be valid, now what we need to do? We need to assign it like matrix
Mm-hmm.
matrix of I comma j is equals to ARR of ij. And if it is not, means I'm see this in this condition every index will be valid, right? This in this because
Yep.
new size is smaller, so this will always be executed. But if the new size is greater, this will not always valid, so it will go in the else block as well. And we just write matrix of ij 0 because the in question they specified if it is not in the range of the array, your previous array, you just define it to be 0. So yeah, this is how we need to ensure like if it is invalid, we just assign whatever in our ARR, and if it is not, we just assign it to be 0. I think yeah, that only they mentioned in the question. Like you okay. Also, you before that you just need to check as well. Like check size is valid or not. Like it should be size is greater than 0. Check we have to do as well. So yeah, think this is thing. Right? This is fine.
Yep.
Now we just need to read the matrix. Okay, they wrote the function later on. Okay, I think this is you already done that, right? In the first part, I guess, as you
Yeah.
mentioning, like this is how 1 1 1 2. Just need to read the elements, just send the elements, right? And printing also, it's perfectly fine. We already seen in the last class as well, I think, and you have done in the first part as well.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, you are required to use a 2D array to implement the matrix. The declaration of the class is to put in matrix.h, while the implementation of the class is put into matrix.cc. Okay, create a test program called matrix test.cc. Your test should show the member function of the class work as expected. One good way to create a 4 cross 4 matrix: read in an element, print out, change some elements, swap some elements, resize it, 6 to, comma 6, shrink to. Okay, each time when you change something in the matrix, just print out to verify, show the your program works. Okay, that's fine. And then you can create two helper function to allocate and allocate memory to dynamically manage the dynamic 2D matrix. Okay, that's fine. So I think we are good to go for writing the code, I guess, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we have just read all the question. We just read all the parts. I think we are good. Great. Okay, that's great. Let's get started then. Hmm. Okay, so I actually tried to solve the first part, but you already solved it. It's fine. So,
Yeah. It's just like I because I feel like I want to try it on my own. So it's like once I try that,
yeah,
then
it would be better. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so let's try to whatever they want to mention. What was the file name? They want us to write in matrix.h, right? Matrix.h. Okay. So yeah, matrix.h. Matrix.h. So yeah, we need to define all the function part here. So I think first of all, okay, I just not remember everything. So let me just check it out. think they wrote in one page only, I guess. Yeah, constructor and get dimension. Okay, the class. Okay, okay,
Mhm.
okay. So let's try to define the class as well here. Okay, so class matrix and yeah, this is how a matrix is defined. Now basically we
Yes.
need to define the constructor. We don't need to write anything here. Basically just we need to header file it, right? Just the naming. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
So this is like just take the input in. Don't need to define anything. Now the matrix is defined. Now what else? Matrix is defined. I just don't remember. Get dimension, get element. Okay, get
Yeah.
dimension. So
That's all right.
int get dimension, get dimension, and just write the code for that. And int get element, get okay, int get element, and int I comma j they will give you if you need to return something. Okay, pretty fair enough. And then what else? Replace element, swap elements. Okay, so mm, int replace. Okay, I just need replace element and int okay, int I, int j, and whatever is the new element you can say.
Okay.
Okay, this is fine. And then swap elements and swap int I1, int j1, int I2, and int j2. Okay, it's fine. Now what else? They want resize and read matrix and print matrix. Resize, void, resize. The swap is not required. Int type, it's required a void. Okay, void resize, and it takes like a new size. Let's say size, and yeah, just resize the elements, and it read void read just read the elements, and I think void print. Yeah. So yeah, pretty fair enough. I think this was all
Yep.
the elements methods. I think there was one more method, create and delete also. I just copy from here. Okay. So just we need to write some methods. Creates not get start star this time, it's in start star. So yeah, so this is in start star. I think that would be fine enough. So yeah, this is how I think. Okay, you should can write define like this. I think we define this is the header file where you need to just write the name of the functions, right? We don't need to define what they are. Let's try to define in our matrix.cc. Matrix. Actually, I don't know. It's not required, but okay. I think they make the it's make the code modular or what. Okay, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is how we just import all the libraries here. Here instead of CC type, this is like IOStream like include CC type, and instead of 2D char, you write matrix.h, and you just define all the elements whatever we define. So let's try to use that. So what we have defined. Let me just copy all this. Better one. Okay. So yeah. So matrix. First of all, let's try to think. Okay. We just need what are the public way. Okay. Everything should be public here. So yeah, it should be public also. Should be public. Just define it to be public. Yeah. Here also you should define it to be public. Okay, let's try to think. Okay, what else we needed? We need something known as to remember the size ourselves also, right? So let's don't need right name as x. Like it contains a dimension. Okay, like write the comment also contains the dimension of the matrix. Initially, we can initialize it 2 as well because they already specified. If unless specified, it should be 2. Okay. And then, okay, let's try to, okay, write the function for that 2D, that thing was, right? Okay, char and all. So that thing, we already have this thing. Like this we can easily do that. Matrix.cc. Just need to define these elements. We can define it outside because it's not required inside the matrix. They are not the
Mhm.
members of, they are not functions of matrix. They are just used inside, used for ease. Right? So in start star and it should be in start star. This is how I already okay told you. So this is how we define a 2D dynamic array. First of all, in star star new star m, we define how many rows we require, and then we just iterate over all the rows to get what is like new int. Okay, it should be int. Yeah. So yeah, this is how we define a 2D dynamic array. Okay, 2D array.
Okay, okay.
Written ARR, and then if you need to delete it, you will use a delete keyword. And first of all, obviously, because we have to delete each row as well, right? So that's why after going inside the loop of every row, we're just deleting every row, and then finally we delete the final pointer as well. So here just change it to int star star. Yeah, this is fine. So basically, it's not delete 2D cat, delete create matrix and delete matrix. Just need to change there as well. Matrix.h matrix and delete matrix. Fair enough. Till here we reached. Okay. Now just we
Okay.
need to define the elements. Now the matrix. Let's try to create the array. Okay. Let's here also define our original matrix. So let's say in star star arr star star arr. So ARR is equals to create matrix. We have just defined a create matrix function. It takes m comma n, but since both are same, so basically we are taking n. So yeah, it takes n comma n. We just initialize our matrix. Now what else we need? I think they told to initialize with if they are not given n equals to. So if they are not
Okay.
given n something, so we will use 2. Okay, this is fine. I think they tell to use 0 also, I guess. If nothing is given. 3 cross 3. Okay, okay. Constructor. No, no, no. Okay, all initializer entries to 0. Okay. So that's why we will run a loop for, okay, sorry, to make it all elements 0. So, yeah. So just a simple for 0 and I plus plus and for just iterating on the array. That's all. 0 j less than n j plus plus and just arr of ij is equals to this. Fine. We just initialize it all the value 0. I think this is done. This is our constructor. Like whenever our object is created, this should be called, and I think this is done. Now let's try to move forward. In get dimension, okay, okay, this is also important. After that, we also our date our dimension to n if they gave us. So yeah, our now we have our dimension. Now if they want us the dimension, we just return x. X contains our dimension. Get element. So first of all, what we need to do? We'll use the indices I minus minus j minus minus, and just simply okay. We have to write a valid function also, right? So yeah, let's
Yep.
write. We have to write a valid function also, right? To check the indices are valid or not. So let's try define a bool type is valid. Is
Okay,
valid
okay.
int I, int j, but also we need to specify the size also of the matrix because the size is keep changing, right? Because we can change also the size, so we need to pass the size as well. So int, let's say n only. Now I already told you how to check whether a element is valid or not. If I should be greater than equals to 0, and then j should be greater than equals to 0, and then I should be less than equals to n minus 1, and then j should be less than equals to n minus 1. Okay.
Yep.
Now, if it is true, if it is all conditions are satisfied, then we will return a true. If any one condition fails, we just return a false. Return a false. Yeah. So this is how we just define our if is valid also. So yeah, int get element. Okay. Now we just check if is valid. Is valid. Our index is I comma j comma x. If it is valid, we just return whatever are stored in our array. So arr of I j. Right. This is how we return. If it is not, return minus 1, specifying like invalid index requested.
No, okay, okay.
Okay. Now same goes for replace element also. Just copy this. Like that's how it becomes simpler. Once you understand the basic and once you write 2 3 functions, right, it's like very easy to understand. But yeah, in the first go, yeah, like it's slightly difficult because the oops is, yeah, it is like for me also it was difficult for me at the first glance. But once you practice, right, once you write
Yep.
yourself, you'll get a good hold. So yeah, now we need to replace element. So again, we need to reduce the index. We need to check the element, check the index is it valid or not. Now instead of returning, okay, it should be void also here. Void. And if it is valid, okay, you should not return anything. We will just print something. ARR of I j is equals to new element. This is how
No,
we
okay,
replace
okay.
element. But suppose if it is do not comes out to be valid, we just print a statement. Oh no, sorry, out a statement. Uh, please enter a valid index. Yeah. So basically, this is how we just do it. Backslash n. Yeah. So basically, we just give a warning to the user. Okay, what happens? Outlook. Okay, okay, okay. So we need not to do something here. I think okay, because in here I can't define. Okay, let's try to give using things. I think it will work. Namespace std because for input output you should use the namespace. So, yeah. Okay. So this is how basically we just give a warning to user. Please give a let index.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a place element. Now we need to swap. I told you how to swap two elements. Let's try to again. We need to check both the indices, right? This is how our valid function comes into picture, right? Suppose you write is valid again and again. You have to write what 8 lines of code now because see you need to check this also. You need to check this also. It becomes hectic, right? That's why this will help us. This will save us from here. So what it does simply just reduce everyone I1 minus minus I2 minus minus J1 minus minus J2 minus minus. Okay, now what we will do is valid. What happened? Okay, yeah. So we will check both the conditions now. I1, J1, X, and then same
No, okay,
for
okay.
I2, J2 as well, right? This is how it becomes simpler. Just we need to
Yeah.
write int I2, J2. Yeah, this is that you can right click also and format document to make it more good looking. So, yeah. If it's valid and means like what we need to do, we need to swap. So we will write our swap code in temp is equals to ARR of I1 J1 and ARR of I1 J1 is equals to ARR of I2 J2 J2 and then what you will do ARR of I1 J1 is equals to 10. Okay, this is we discussed in
Yep.
the slide, right? So this we swap and we don't need to return and swap something. If it is not a valid, like any one of the two values are like it's not valid, just we need again print the same warning. Please enter a valid index. This is fine. This is swap. Okay. Now let's try to resize the element. This is, I think, is a good part. So yeah, let's try to think of it. Like we need to resize the elements. So let's try to create a new array. So let's say I just define a new ARR and again create matrix of n cross n size and sorry size cross size. So this is how we created our new matrix. Now, what the same I gave you the logic here, right? Like there could be two cases. There could be two cases. It could be greater and smaller, but we write a generalized code for that. Like we just check if it is inside the range of our current matrix or not. If it is inside the range, it is fine. We will copy the element. If it is not, we will define it zero.
No, okay, okay.
Yeah. So this is how basically we will do it. Again, we just resize the element. We just run a for loop. Just do zero. Plus plus and then oh sorry it's not n should be size for int j is equals to 0 j less than size j plus plus okay that's fine. Now that's we what we need to do if it comes to be valid if it's valid I comma j comma x because still now it's x only we are not updated our original matrix. If it is valid we just what we will do we will do arr sorry our new arr of ij we just copy is equals to arr of ij. If it is not we just define it to be zero new arr
Yeah, okay, okay.
of I j equals to 0. Now the most crucial part comes. This is done. Now we need to change our original matrix also, right? This is we create a copy of this. Now we will delete. We will delete our previous matrix, right? Because
Yep.
we don't need it further. So delete matrix. Our original previous matrix was ARR and it was x comma x. And now what we will do? Our ARR will become our new ARR. Yeah. So this is how we will change it to our new ARR. Fine.
Yeah, okay.
So it's resize. Okay, we have done delete matrix. We done. We can just read and print. I think we can use this one for reading. I think I wrote the code for that. Just read this one matrix.cc. Yeah, read is simpler. Just run our for loop and x comma x. Also, yeah, here also you just need to update x also, right? X equals to size because our x is updated. So x and x, j plus plus, ij, arr of ij. Yeah, this is fine. Arr of ij. This is how we read it. Print also I can just copy it. Yeah, just copy it. So print also the same thing, nothing else. So it should be print rate. So it should be counter. Let's see count ARR of I J. Just give a space and just after for loop. Okay, just a second. You just give a end of L next line. Okay. Now you just give here X and here as well X. So basically this is how you just printed it. You just printed it and we just read it. Yeah, I think we wrote our complete code of the matrix.cc and just we need to check and validate our code if it is working fine or not. Okay, so
Okay, okay.
okay, it's the time. Yes, I think we can just check and we can just run an example. We have 10 minutes. Yeah, we can check something and you can also create more test cases. I'm just giving an four cross for example as given as per your assignment. So I think it is like what was the name of the let me just check it out. It was written you can should create a test matrix.cc. Okay.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you need these files also, right? I will share these files as well. So yeah, you can get
Yes.
a reference. So
Okay, thank you so much.
yeah, yeah. int okay, but yeah, we need to create a file also, right? Test matrix actually is remains. I think you would be able to complete it, right? This test matrix one, whatever
Yeah, I think I can try it.
you can try, right? And if it's not,
Yeah.
I think we can discuss in next class as well.
Okay, sure, sure.
Test matrix. Okay, so let's try to again write it. Include IO stream, and then again same thing, same stuff using names space std. Okay, so we have to include this also, like here this time to be matrix. So yeah, we just need to include our matrix or something like that. Matrix test matrix cc. Yeah. So not 2D cat this time. Our what was it? Matrix dot matrix cc cc type. Okay, this is already written. Let's try to write an int me. Okay. So first of
No,
all, let's try to create an object. So our class name was, I think, matrix m. So basically, yeah. And let's try to give a size. So initially they was already specifying default is 2, but they told us in your assignment 4, so I'm just giving a fine.
yeah.
And let's try to invoke all the methods. So let's say m dot read. See, it is showing me all the methods. Just I will just m dot read, and okay. So it will
Yeah.
read the method, and let's try to print it if it's working fine or not. Yeah, let's
No,
try
okay,
to
okay.
read. So let's try to give. I think it should be working fine. Let's try one. Okay, something is happening. Redefinition of class matrix. Okay, wait. What happens? Include CC test matrix. Redefinition of class matrix. Just a second, please. Matrix
No, okay, okay.
redefinition. Okay, just a second. Matrix dot cc. Let's happen something. Focus matrix. Create matrix. Okay. Okay, I think, yeah, I think it's not required. Okay. Because they already defined in the header file, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is not required. Just a second. Just need to remove this thing. This should be, what is this? This should be fine. Okay, matrix. Okay. And, okay, just a second. Matrix and, what happens? This is fine. This is fine. This is the constructor, right? This was the constructor. Okay. Int identifier. Okay. Just takes the input. If it is defined like this. Okay. Just a second. Definition of the matrix. Okay. Test matrix dot cc. Okay. Previous definition of class matrix. Okay. Let me just check. Okay, I think it is showing me. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so matrix. Okay, test matrix dot cc. Okay, I think this is, if you are again defining it should be object, right? Okay, matrix dot cc. Okay, happens. Okay, so basically we are redefining the class matrix, but we should define it right. I guess what is the problem?
Okay.
Okay, to decap CC type. If I just remove this one. Okay, let me just try to do this now. Let's try. What happens? Just a second. Yeah, now it's fine. I guess. Yeah, cool. So basically, yeah, what happens? I think we should not define here. Like I just remove this CC, but I will tell you in the maybe in the next class. Like what this happens is I just remove this one, like header file. Uh, this is I just defined for reference only. Like okay, these methods are required, and just in matrix or CC, we just defined all the methods here, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try to again read it. Yeah, it's giving me 0, comma 0. So let's say 1, 2, 3,
Three,
4,
four.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Yeah, so it is
Okay.
given. Okay, this is our giving our
Yes.
matrix. Let's try to do some operations. Like what else we have? M dot get dimension we have, and get
Yes.
element also we have. So let's try to think. Let's see. Now we obviously we use one base indexing, right? So
Yep.
let's say I want a 4 comma 4 element. 4 comma 4 element. I just need to print that out. Let's try to do that. Okay, we need to again and again give the input, by the way. But okay, okay, no problem. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.